Shalom, friends. Rob Vanoff here with TelosTorah. Perhaps you already saw I did a video on Rob on the Rock YouTube channel on the very last verse of our Torah portion, Tetzaveh, for Exodus 30, verse 10. Here I'm going to look at verse 28, 29, and it's talking about just a specific detail concerning what's called the Hoshen HaMishpat. That is the breastplate of judgment, or Mishpat, which the high priest, in this case Aharon, the older brother of Aaron, older brother of Moshe, wears. And it's just a beautiful image here, and I wanted to just do a short video talking about this verse. 28-29, it says, V'nasa Aharon et shemot b'nei Yisrael. Well, I'll just pause there. And Aaron shall carry, or bear, he shall bear, what shall he bear? Et shemot b'nei Yisrael, the names of the children of Israel. Now, we know that the Hoshen Mishpat has 12 precious stones, each of which has a name of the sons of Jacob. The tribes of Israel's names are literally engraved on the stones that he's wearing. So that is the basic simple meaning. V'nasa Aharon et shemot b'nei Yisrael be-Hoshen HaMishpat, in or on the breastplate of judgment. And then it says, al libo, over his heart. Al libo. Now, lev in the Bible can mean like your mind, like, the greatest commandment, v'ahavta, and you shall love the Lord your God b'kol levavcha, right? So levav or lev can have the meaning of mind or memory, where you store. It's a place you store up words, you store up thoughts in your lev, in your heart. So it can have a metaphorical meaning, but lev can also just mean the organ, your heart. Because remember, the priests particularly, they knew how to parse up a carcass. They knew very well the entrails, and they had names, of course, for all the organs. And they know that there is an organ called the lev, and they know where it is in the chest. And so in the Hoshen HaMishpat, in the breastpiece of judgment, and then al libo, on his heart. Very similar to the language of, back to the Shema, Hear, O Israel, and it says, and it shall be that these words, hayu hadvarim ha'ele al levavcha, they shall be on your heart. These words shall be on your heart. And so the idea is, well, how do you put these words on your heart? Is it metaphorically speaking? Here, al libo, I think, has the basic meaning of the Hoshen Mishpat is over his chest, over his heart. And then we have an infinitive construct phrase here, bevo'o el hakodesh, when he enters the Kodesh, which is the holy place. It shall be, he shall carry. So I see two senses here. I see the sense of he's physically, v'nasa Aharon, he will carry them as this object is hanging physically on his breast as he carries it in, as he enters the holy place. But it's also a metaphorically speaking of his conscience, his consciousness, his mindfulness of Israel as a people, as a united people. V'nasa Aharon et shemot b'nei Yisrael. He shall carry the names. So that the names are things that have weight. They're real people. These are real tribes. These are real families and divisions of families. And they are all echad. They are all one in his ministry. before the Lord. He ministers unto the Lord, and he stands in for all of Israel. So all of Israel is represented by one individual. And so this is al libo, on his heart. He's not doing this for himself, in other words. Aharon, the high priest, is not serving himself. He's attentive to the Lord, and he is representing all of God's people as one man. Bevo'o el HaKodesh, in his entry into the holy place. And then it says, le zikaron, as a memorial, lifnei Adonai tamid, always, as a continual memorial before the Lord. So who's being reminded here? Is this a zikaron for the Lord? Is it the Lord that needs a reminder? Is this why Aaron goes in every day wearing this Choshen HaMishpat? So God remembers Israel? Or is this lezikaron, the memorial, telling us about this, that there's two meanings being carried here? That he's bearing the names on his on this Choshen. He's carrying them over his lave, or literally on his heart, that he has names on his heart. And it's a memorial before the Lord. So my suggestion is that's exactly what it means. It means that this is a memorial between the high priest and God, and that it is a physical object externally, yes, but it is also an internal or spiritual or emotional bearing that he loves all of God's people. And so the high priest, in a way here, is exemplifying what Yeshua teaches us is the greatest two commandments, is the love of God with all your heart, soul, strength, and the love of neighbor as yourself. And so Aaron goes in, the high priest goes in, not worried about himself as an individual, but he goes in and he is representative of one entire unified people, the people of Israel. And what is the zikaron is that there is an eternal covenant here that's being represented. That covenant is a covenant between God and his people, and his promise, I will be their God, they will be my people, and that he will dwell in their midst. And so there is this wonderful synchronization, if you will, of the holiness of God, God's eternal holiness and graciousness, his long-suffering, his kindness, and there is a human representative who is standing in for God's people and going into the presence of God on their behalf, not on his own, not for his own purpose, but for Israel. So, v'nasa Aharon et shemot b'nei Yisrael, and Aaron shall carry or bear the names of the children of Israel, bechoshen hamishpat, in the breastpiece of judgment, mishpat. Remember, mishpat is the where right and wrong is clearly differentiated, where righteousness and wickedness is clearly articulated. Tov versus Ra, Or versus Choshek, light versus darkness. That's what a mishpat is. When there is gray area and there's uncertainty as what is the path, that's a situation that needs mishpat. It needs clarity. It needs a judgment. And so wisdom and judgment from the Lord is where information is given, instruction is given, that is as light. It says this is what is light, this is what is righteous, this is what is good in a particular situation where that's not clear. And that clarity comes in the form of what we call mishpat. And he carries it al libo, on his heart, bivo'o el hakodesh, in his entry into the holy place, lezikaron lifnei Adonai tamid, as a memorial before the Lord always. Tamid, that's that word, always. All right, friends, I hope this was a nice little kind of initial discussion about some of our Torah portion this week. Of course, there's always way more than we can cover or talk about, but I hope that this was a blessing to you, and a Shabbat Shalom to you all.